Morning devotional with David and Kara that requires you to say, I'm David.
I'm David.
And I'm Kara.
And we're working our way through the Bible. You said it this morning. I'm so surprised. And we're working our way through the Bible one chapter at a time. And today we're going to be in Psalm chapter 50.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. What are we on?
Just kidding. Yeah, we're in Psalm chapter.
Psalm chapter
I was just
50.
being oppositional. Have you ever wanted to be one of those oppositional people who gets their way? I'm just saying. Some days I'm like, I wish I could be that.
You really wish?
Yeah, some days I wish, I wish I could be the difficult person and get what I want.
Tap your heels 3 times, Dorothy, and you'll go.
Click, click.
All right. Anyway, welcome everybody. That's not true. You're not defiant. You're a helper.
Difficult.
Difficult. You're not difficult.
He said to me this morning, he asked for a few things in a row, and I said, I haven't touched them. I don't know where they are. And he said, what do I keep you around for? And I said, you don't keep me around. I stay of my own volition.
What does that make her?
I'm the
What what does that make her?
I'm not the one who's...
If she sticks around on her own decision. Okay.
Committed.
Welcome to Story of God, everybody.
It makes me committed.
It does make you committed. You're fantastically committed. Okay, anyway.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome everybody. We should do some more of our marriage talks, I think.
People don't want to hear what I have to say about marriage. Honestly, it's not about you. It's about God's will for your marriage. And it's about God being glorified in your marriage. Boom. That's it. That's it.
You mean if I allow my flesh...
Does it glorify God?
To rule...
All done.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, no, I'm just saying that's it. People don't want to hear what I have to say about marriage.
So if you don't allow your flesh in the marriage,
Yeah.
then you might be able to be successfully married?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Up top.
Up top.
Yeah. We have something to do this morning, and we're going to read Psalm 50.
We got to jump into it because you only have a certain amount of time.
I know. Yeah. I have to be somewhere.
All right, you ready to go?
To be in China in 26 minutes.
You have to be in China in 26 minutes. That's a fast flight. All right, go ahead, babe.
The mighty one, O God, the Lord speaks and summons the earth from rising of the sun to the place where it sets. From Zion, perfect in beauty, God shines forth. Our God comes and will not be silent.
Yeah.
A fire devours before him, and around him a tempest rages. He summons the heavens above and the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather to me my consecrated ones, who made a covenant with me by sacrifice, and the heavens proclaim his righteousness. For God himself is judge. There's a lot of phenomenological, not conversation, but there's a lot of phenomenological language in that, those 6 verses.
Yeah.
Phenomenological is the earth rises, the sun rises, the earth rotates. The sun doesn't really rise, but from our perspective,
yes,
we see the sun rising.
Right.
God doesn't come. God is ever present.
Right.
But we feel his nearness when he rescues us, right?
Yeah. Now, let me also say this. It says he will not be silent. So living in an age where idolatry is so prevalent. We have different forms of idolatry today. I don't know that a lot of people still worship graven images and stuff like that.
We have idols of relationship. We have idols of technology.
There's lots of different idols.
Idols of comfort.
Right.
We have tons of idols.
Yeah, but back then the concept was that you would build a statue of your God and ultimately you would pray to it. We remember a prime example of this.
Dare you say famous?
I know, right? Is Elijah at Mount Carmel, right? He's with all the prophets of Baal. And he says, what's wrong with your God? My favorite part as a teenager was like when my youth pastor explained that he was basically saying that Baal was on the toilet. And he said, is he relieving himself? I don't know why Elijah just suddenly had an English accent. Does that always seems that like in the biblical movies, the characters have a Charlton Heston accent. All right, anyway, So,
China, 20 minutes.
long story short, the concept of David saying, "You won't remain silent. You're an active God. You're a talking God. You're a speaking God," is so important to our understanding. Oh, I hit the wrong button. It's so important to the understanding of David's relationship with the Father. It wasn't a silent. And let me say this: if your prayer life is like silent, like if it's very one-sided in your prayer life, there may be a shift that you may need to make in your prayer life to listening to what the Lord is saying. He's not a silent God. He's not an idol that he wouldn't talk back to you. He's a very conversational God.
Absolutely. Our relationship dynamic with the Father should always be ever increasing. Just the way you want a better marriage, just the way you want your kids to have a better relationship with you. You want to hang tight with your mom and dad, and you want to love on them in their old age, and wipe the dribble from their chin. My parents joined last week. That's why I'm saying that, because they want me to wipe the dribble, don't you? Okay, I don't know. I am in a cheeky mood today.
I like this.
Okay, just like you want your relationships to increase and grow, your relationship with the Father should do the same. You are a dynamic creature. God created you to be changing and transformative.
Yep.
And God, though he doesn't change, he invites us into his ever increasing revelation of who he is.
Right.
Therefore, though God's not changing, our view of him, our phenomenological understanding of him should increase and shift. We should begin to see less of the sun rises and God comes, and more of the earth rotates and God is ever present with me. We should be on that journey.
Yes, definitely. Of a better understanding, a better revelation of who God is, and how he desires to show up in our lives in a very real and constant way. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. All right, verse 7. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against you. I am your God, your God. I do not rebuke you for your sacrifices or burnt offerings, which are ever before me. I have no need of a bull from your stall, or of goats from your pens. For every animal of the forest is mine, and all the cattle on 1,000 hills.
Yes.
I know every bird in the mountains, and the creatures of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I wouldn't tell you, for the world is mine, and all that is in it. I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? Sacrifice thank offerings to God. Fulfill your vows to the Most High. And I'm going to get to a period.
Sure.
And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver you, and you will honor me. God is really, in this section, establishing himself over the gods of other nations.
Yes.
God doesn't need the sustenance of his followership. God really only wants our love and our devotion and our sacrifice and our obedience and our total commitment to him. If I were hungry, if I were to get hungry, I wouldn't call you, because I don't need your food.
I am self-existent, right?
Yes.
I love that. I love that understanding that David, he gets a little bit of revelation there from God as God is speaking to him and saying these things, and I'm sure David goes. Is it Asaph? Yeah, it's Asaph. Sorry. I'm sure the concept of that God would get hungry. I wonder what the hunger of God would look like. I would say that it's for justice on his earth. But anyway, he says
and purity in the bride of his son.
Yeah, he is very clearly making a dividing line. God is making a dividing line between him and us, and let's not be deceived. There's a very clear difference between the Father and us. This is the whole reason that he gave us the Torah, or the law, or the way, is to help us to understand God's way, and this